Hey everyone, welcome back here. So today I'm going to talk about a thing that I have struggled with quite a lot in my past, and that is how to appreciate what I own. So I have always been like skeptical and dissatisfied with so many of my belongings, and I have been in this phase where I disliked their certain characteristics, and this led me to this constant loop of searching for better alternatives which I could not get. And then it really just gave me that dissatisfaction, that anxiety, that sense of deprivation that I did not want. And so one day I decided to tackle this. So the modern world is very consumeristic, right, and materialistic. So there are a lot of new things being released every year, every month. You have a lot of new devices, new technologies coming out, and companies are releasing out new things, new products every year. And it's both a good thing and a bad thing. It's good because A, it helps us with scientific progress, and B, some of these things are actually helping us solve real life problems. But it's bad when these things, this progress and this constant desire for better things just starts to interfere with our daily lives, and that is when it gets really bad. So I started to look for ways in which I could just stop myself from being disappointed by my own belongings. And so I set out and I finally found ways to deal with this, and today I'm going to share just that with you. Okay, so for me, the first and most important thing that I did was that I set out to identify the root causes behind my desires. So, for instance, there was a time when I was really starting to crave gaming stuff. Like, I just went to Google and I searched for the best portable gaming console. And then I searched for things like mobile phone controllers. And then I even went so far that I started looking for gaming laptops. So I decided to take this information, and one day I sat down at a peaceful time and I asked myself this question: why am I desiring these things? Why do I want a new gaming console? Why do I want a new gaming laptop? What is driving me to search for gaming controllers for my phone? And I realized that all of these desires revolved around one thing, and that was gaming. And to be more specific, it was portable gaming. So I decided that okay, my desire is to is to be able to play games on my portable devices, and so I decided that okay, I'm gonna do that. So I downloaded a few games on my phone. I installed Steam and Epic Games Store on my laptop, and even though it's not a super powerful laptop like this guy right here, it's a business laptop. It's not a gaming laptop at all. HP ProBook 450 G8. It's got an 11th generation i5 processor and no GPU at all. But I downloaded a few low spec games on this, and they worked well. They worked surprisingly well, actually. So once I had done that, I no longer craved or desired the things that I was searching for previously. Like, I no longer wanted to invest in a new gaming console. I no longer wanted to invest in a gaming controller. I no longer wanted a gaming laptop because I could play games on this machine. And another thing that happened within the same time period was that I started to search for 3D games, a lot of 3D games. And I had this idea that, oh no, my laptop cannot run 3D games, so I need a gaming console that can, or some device that can run the latest 3D game. And once again, I sat down and I traced this desire back to this desire of gaming, that I wanted to play video games. It's that simple. So again, when I had downloaded a few games onto my laptop and onto my phone, I was able to play games while on the go, and my desire had been fulfilled, and I was no longer dissatisfied with my belongings. So very often going back and tracing your thoughts and desires to the root desire can very often help you stop being dissatisfied with whatever your belongings are. So the second thing that I did was to make my belongings more enjoyable. There were a few times in my life when I would get bored with the things that I owned, and I would just start looking for alternatives, looking for things that I could buy instead of using what I have. And once again, it was just leading me down this trap of a sense of deprivation and sadness and dissatisfaction. So I decided that I'm gonna try to figure out what can I do about it. So the one thing that I came up with was that whatever it is that I'm dissatisfied with, I'm gonna try to make it a more exciting experience for me using that device, using that belonging. Whatever it is, I'm going to try to make it a more enjoyable experience. So, for example, there was a time when I was dissatisfied with the look of my desk. It was a really long time ago. Just for context, my desk is originally from the 1980s and it has gone through several renovations. And when I was using it, it was a very broken kind of desk. It had a lot of issues. It was shaky, and it was worn out. Its paint was fading away and chips were falling off of it, and it was in a really bad condition, right? And I didn't really want to use it. So what I did was that at that time I was really into woodworking, so I just spent some time trying to renovate that desk, and I transformed it into a much better desk, into a much better one. So I painted it, I attached new drawer handles, I added structural reinforcements, and my dad and I just transformed it into a totally new desk. Yes, it does have that retro look to it, but I think it does the job for me really well, and it just became a much more enjoyable experience. Now, sometime after renovating my desk, I encountered yet another problem. That was the time when I was watching YouTube videos about self-improvement and productivity and stuff like that, and I saw a lot of YouTube creators using standing desks. And I started craving that desk. And that was a huge problem for me because I had recently renovated my desk and I didn't have a lot of budget to buy a new desk. And also at the same time, I really wanted to work on things like my health, things like reducing my sitting time and being more creative. So I decided to look at different workarounds, and the thing that I came up with was just to stand in front of this bookshelf thing. I know that it's not a full standing desk experience. It's not the best ergonomics. It's not the ideal height. I would like to make a lot of changes in this, but just finding. So the final tip that I applied to my life was to reduce exposure to new stuff. So for example, at one time I was constantly exposing myself to a lot of people just sharing their experiences about how satisfied they were with their MacBooks. And at the same time, I was reading reviews that said mostly negative things about my laptop, the one that I own, this thing. So I was like, damn, my laptop is really bad. And oh no, it doesn't have the best speakers. And oh no, the display is very dim. And so, I mean, I could just come up with thousands of complaints about my laptop, and I could literally go on and on and on complaining about this thing. And at the same time, I could have a never ending list of reasons that I would want to have a MacBook. Now, this thing is both good and bad because it is good that I know exactly my dream laptop. It's good because it just helps me define what I need. So when I actually have the ability to go buy my dream laptop, I can just go and pick that up and bring it home. I don't have to search, I don't have to try 1,000 things before I can actually have my dream laptop in front of me. I know exactly what I want. It's good because of this reason. But at the same time, it's quite bad because I just, again, felt quite sad about these things. I just felt quite a sense of deprivation that, oh no, my laptop is bad and I don't have the good laptop that I need, and oh no, it's underpowered, and oh no, the display is bad, the speakers are bad, the battery life is bad, and stuff like that. Now in my mind, I did know that, okay, the MacBook is the kind of laptop that I want to have when I have the ability to buy my own laptop. But as for now, this is the machine that I have, and I can't do anything about it. So it's no use to fret over the shortcomings of this machine. So I stopped looking at all the positive things people were saying about their MacBooks and stuff like that. And at the same time, I just started to apply the other techniques like appreciating this machine that I have, making it more enjoyable, finding new ways to use it, and finding the root cause of why I actually desire a MacBook in the first place. And by combining all of these steps, I was able to enjoy all of my belongings and just have a much more relaxing experience. Okay, so lastly, I would like to say that it's good to have desires because desires just define where we want to go, but desires only work for yourself as long as they don't get in your way. If your desires hold you back from actually doing the work or actually staying present in the moment and being content with what you have, those desires will start working against you and they will actually pull you down rather than motivate you to do something better. So by identifying the root causes behind my desires, finding new ways to use my things, and also reducing exposure to so many positive things about what I don't own, I have been able to appreciate and enjoy my belongings much more than before. I no longer have the same feeling of sadness, of deprivation, and of anxiety, and I am much happier about what I own, and that's it. Yes. It's really like being content with what you have, and it's okay to know what you want in the future, but you don't want that desire or that want to be on your head all the time. And for me, these steps have helped me remove these thoughts from my mind and actually focus my efforts towards like, creating a future for myself where I can actually have what I want rather than constantly complaining about and fretting over the things that I have. Now, if you have any tips for how to enjoy our belongings, you can share them down in the comments below. And if you like this video, please consider subscribing. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.